Hi friends, welcome back to another video. Today we're walking you through our nighttime routine as a family of 4, which starts at about 5:30 in the evening. This is the time that my husband usually leaves, not always, but a lot of the time he plays football for about an hour and a half, and so I am left with the girls for about an hour and a half, which is our time to go outside. So exactly where the car is parked, my husband takes it, he goes, and then we use that space to have some fun. And I try to get as much energy out of the kids as possible. So sometimes I bring their tricycle, their balance bike, sometimes I give them a bucket full of water, sometimes we collect flowers around and pretend like they're cooking. But we use that time to just get some energy out. Sometimes I bring a book and I read for them, but we're outdoors and they love it, and it has just given us a good opportunity to get some energy out just before bedtime. Recently I started using this time frame as my workout time, so I get my exercise mat, my laptop, and I exercise. The kids join me sometimes, they mimic me. It's actually so funny, but they enjoy it, and it also gives them another chance to get some of their energy out. So that is what I do during that time. And on the days where my husband is not going out for football or I'm not exercising, then we usually try to do a family walk around the neighborhood, and we use that time to go out, get some fresh air, get the kids' energy out. Again, I hope you catch the theme. Getting the kids' energy out, it makes bedtime a lot smoother if they're going to bed when they're tired. And one of the other things that we do is we make sure that their nap time during the day does not go beyond 3:30 p.m. We find that if after 3:30 p.m. they're still napping, then they're gonna give us a lot of trouble at 7:30, 8 o'clock when it's time for their bedtime. So after we've had some time outdoors, it's usually followed by a shower. So all 3 of us, my girls and myself, we go in for a shower. My girls love the water, so that is also another enjoyable time for them. We all take a shower. I put on their PJs, I put on my PJs as well, and then by that time my husband is already back home and he also takes a shower as well. And so we begin the second part of our night routine, which is a quick cleanup. So around the time the kids are going to bed and they're very unlikely to play with any more toys, I will pass around the living area and the bedrooms and just do a quick cleanup. I personally love starting the mornings on a good note, on the right foot, and for me that involves having a put together, tidied up house. And so I use a quick 10-15 minutes to clean up just before we put the kids down for bed. Sometimes I also put on some music through the TV, sometimes Alexa, and the kids listen to some music. They have a little dance party while we clean up, and then we get started on dinner time. So dinner time is actually pretty light in our house. Our heaviest meal is lunchtime, and so dinner time is usually a sandwich or something extremely light. Tonight we're doing a PB&J. I find that around that time the kids are hungry, they're tired, so now they're a little more fussy, and so getting them involved in making dinner is very helpful for me. So this time we're making a PB&J sandwich. In this case, I give them the bread. I also put a predetermined amount of peanut butter on the plate as well as some jam on the plate, and I allow them to spread it themselves. Bella is fully capable of doing that, although still messy. Katie needs a little more help, but getting them involved really is key to preventing the tantrums and the crying, etc., etc. During that time, hubby is actually reading for us, so we do a lot of read alouds. We read novels and bedtime stories, Bible stories, whatever suits our fancy at that time, and he's usually somewhere in the back reading for us while we get ready for dinner. In my opinion, dinner time is a fabulous time to disciple your little ones, especially if you are Christian like myself and you really want to raise kids who love God and love other people. And so in doing that, you need to spend some time actually teaching them about who God is, about the Bible, about certain principles. And I think that dinner time, in fact meal times, is just a wonderful way of allowing truth into their little hearts, because their hands are busy, their mouths are busy. It's a little more quiet in some cases, not always, but they're busy, so they're not disturbing as much. They're sitting down, everybody's sitting down, and it's a wonderful opportunity. So some of the things that we do during dinner time is we, for one, always pray before our meals, and that serves as an opportunity to help the kids know that the food that we eat, our provision, comes from the Lord, and we thank Him for it. We also read a Bible story, we discuss different characters, and we don't go too in depth in any of those things because our kids are very young, 3 and 2, and so right now we're not looking to have any fabulous lessons. We just want them to be familiar with the Bible and the stories of the Bible. Another thing that we do is we go through Bible verses. So we are trying to memorize certain scriptures as a family. They're very easy, usually less than 10 words, so that the kids can memorize them. And during dinner time is a perfect opportunity where we just revise some of the verses that we have already learned. After dinner is prepared, which doesn't take long, we all gather at the table and we sit down and have a meal together. Again, Ibrahim was not hungry, so you don't see him seated here, but he's actually sitting on the counter behind us reading a story. That happens quite a bit. Sometimes he just does not like eating as early as we do. But sitting around the table having dinner is something that is so important to us as our family. During our stay in Cuba, we spent 7 years studying medicine in Cuba, and during that time we met up with a family, a Cuban family whom we love dearly and we still keep in touch with. But they had breakfast, lunch and dinner pretty much every single day around their dinner table, and we love that so much. It was just a fantastic opportunity to have conversation, to laugh. We learned inside jokes. That's where our Spanish was developed, and we loved it so much, and we both decided that we really wanted that to be a part of our family culture, where we sit down and we have meals together as a family. And so we prioritize it, we make it something that's important to us, and we really try to do it as often as we possibly can. It does not always happen, of course, but we really do make it a priority. And during that time we also have an opportunity to teach the girls how to sit at a table, to sit down to eat, to stay until everybody else is done, etc., etc. And of course, as to be expected, it is not a perfect time. We have girls who throw food on the table, who are not in a very good mood, who throw tantrums. We have grown-ups, not naming anybody, who throw things on the floor and break them. So it's not a perfect time, but that is okay because that is all part of being a family. So after we are done eating, it's followed by myself staying in the kitchen. I usually clean up after our meals, again because I like waking up to a clean house. And my husband takes the girls to the bathroom. He brushes their teeth, he reads them another bedtime story, and he really gets them ready for bed, while I stay back in the kitchen, wash up any dishes, clean up any food that was fallen on the floor, and just make the house neat and tidy and ready for a new day. So next, I like to use the following maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes to prepare for the next day. So I usually meal plan, so I have an idea of what we're going to eat the next day, and so I take this opportunity, whether it is to maybe put out a parcel of chicken so that it thaws, maybe I season something that has already been thawed out, but I like to use this opportunity to get ready for the morning so that it runs a lot smoother. Most of the time during this, Ibrahim is reading to me. Right now we are doing Greek mythology, which he is so fascinated by, and I think it's also very interesting. And it's just one of those hobbies that we like to do as a couple that we both genuinely enjoy. So one of the other things that I like to do at night, obviously it's not a every night kind of thing, but I like to get my yogurt started in the night. That way it spends most of the night getting done, and then by the time it's morning or sometimes a little after midday, it's ready. Yogurt is definitely something that is a staple in our household. We have it for a snack, sometimes for breakfast, quite regularly. and so keeping up with our yogurt stash is always on the list. By this time it's probably about 8:30 p.m. We generally put the girls down between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. We usually have to go in there, I would say, about 3 or 4 times afterwards. We make sure that we take them to the bathroom before they go in, and we also bring in water, so that's not something that they're asking for. But usually there's a little squabble between them or something where we have to go back into the room maybe 2 or 3 times. But during that time, I take that opportunity to do my quiet time if it was not something that I got done throughout the day. And then I follow it up with my skincare routine. So I put my hair into 2 big plaits, I cover it with my little night cap, and then I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I do my little skincare, I use Retin-A. I actually have a nighttime skincare routine. I would say the only difference between that video and now is that instead of using retinol, I use Retin-A. So I go through my skincare routine, and by that time it's probably about 9 o'clock, maybe a little after 9. I try to go to bed at 10 o'clock, 10:30, latest 11. And so the remainder of the time we'll cuddle up with Ibrahim. We'll probably watch a movie or a show, read more books if it's very interesting, use that time to talk, or sometimes we separate and pursue individual pursuits. So sometimes I use that time for editing or reading a book that I'm interested in, and sometimes he uses it to watch his football or car shows, or just enjoy that time, either together or for ourselves. But that is basically our nighttime routine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some ideas for how to make your nighttime a little more smoother. I know that sometimes it can be challenging with young kids, but that is all that I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.